Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Here on Show, Style, and Spirit, I am Ebony, of course. And as you can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about a moment during tonight's Messy Monday show over on Carlos King's YouTube channel, where he is reviewing the latest episode of Love and Marriage Detroit, during which he actually promotes Love and Marriage Detroit cast member Christina Bowman Smith's new song, Final Destination. And they actually talk about the single and some of its lyrics and the creativity behind it for a good 6 minutes. And I have been sitting here wrecking my brain trying to remember, if Melody ever got such promotion just from him directly. I'm not saying that he has to, that he's broken a law by not promoting any of Melody's songs, but I just was not expecting that as I was watching the Messy Monday show. And I was just wondering if this is a consistent thing. And even, you could even mention Destiny. She had a single called On 10. I don't know if he promoted that either, but I wanted to go ahead and share with you all this segment of him promoting this cast member song, and then I will come back with my commentary. Now, before we get into it, all I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite is allowed. Okay, let's go ahead and get right on into it.
Honestly goes to the two of you.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So, with that being said, Christina has a new single produced by. Thank you, Anthony. I did go to school for this. But, so Brandon, talk to us about Christina's new single that is out today, because we want everybody to pick it up on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your music, download it. R&B music is making a comeback. But Brandon, let everybody know where they can find this music and what type of artist Christina is.
So the song is called Final Destination, and you can find it on all platforms under Christina Bowman Smith. And if you really are Team Christina, go to the iTunes store and get it for $1.29, so she can get on the charts. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get on the charts. So go ahead and purchase it for $1.29 if you really want to, show your support.
We got you.
So I wrote the song. I wrote like 90% of the song, and she wrote like the end of it. And it just was like and my boy Luname produced it. He's from Detroit. And it's just basically a story, literally, of what we went through in season 2. It's like, yo, what are we doing? What are we doing? Am I your final destination or not? So it's basically the hook says, it's a yellow light. You can stop or go. Please just let me know. Hit the gas. Let's go, go, go. What's your hesitation? Am I your final destination? So the song is a bop. She's an R&B artist, and I don't know what Christina is about to do after this. I don't know if she's gonna be doing more songs or not. But it was fun working with her on this, and I'm glad that people get to hear what she really sounds like. Because she was very nervous at that Roses Are Red performance at Bravo spot on the season finale. Because when you were in the building, it sounded good. In the building, it sounded real good, didn't it, Anthony?
They're talking to you right. They're talking to you right now. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay.
Anthony.
I was buying the song, by the way.
Christina, my girl, she really talented.
I will say, Brandon, I do like that during the performance, of course, you could tell she was nervous. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. And people said it sounded better in person. But you did go to her at that moment and give her props, whether you thought that was true or not. You did support her in that moment, which I think is very important to, have her back in that moment, because that's a vulnerable thing to do, to perform live in front of not just the people in that club, but all of us and our commentary. So
No,
Okay. I did want to pause it there. I just want to point out, not only did he open up the floor for Brandon, the husband of Christina Bowman Smith, to talk about her new single, Final Destination, which, by the way, Brandon is the lighter complected Black man with the gray beard. He is below Dustin and Claudia. It sounds like perhaps he and Christina may be separated. I do not watch Love and Marriage Detroit, so I'm totally disconnected from the storylines. I did try. I watched season 1 and I watched the first half of season 2. I thought the show regressed in that first half of season 2, and I was just totally outdone. I'm like, typically a reality TV show gets better. You see where it gets better as the seasons go on, not get worse. So I was just out of it. I feel like the the cast, it doesn't really connect to a lot of cultural things, but that's a different subject in terms of Detroit. But I'm noticing that Carlos, he not only opens it up for them to talk about the single, but he, asked Brandon, what kind of artist is Christina? And he talked about how she's an R&B singer and she was nervous to perform, I guess, in a scene in their season finale. And he even mentioned some of the lyrics to the song, and he said that he wrote most of it. So he got to really explain that whole process. Now, one thing I will say about tonight's episode is that the live chat was off the hook. They were all anxious to hear about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they let it be known in the chat. So the chat was far more entertaining than the entire Love and Marriage Detroit segment. But I just wanted, excuse me, I just wanted to make the point that Carlos asked, open-ended questions to help Brandon promote this single. And also, by the way, from the chat, the people, Carlos King's Raindrops, who watch Love and Marriage Detroit, they are convinced that Brandon is just not really feeling the marriage. And he's asked, according to him, he's asked Christina for a divorce 4 times. And I feel like she has the patience of Job, because I cannot imagine most people being okay with someone continuously asking them for a divorce. Like, seems like a lot of people would have just gone ahead and gave them one by now. But again, I don't watch the show, and of course I don't know them personally, but I just wanted to point that out. But there is more. Carlos King, he's even going to directly ask his Raindrops to support the single. So I want to go ahead and get into the rest of this segment.
And it's infinitely difficult to perform. Like singing in the studio is one thing. Getting on stage with these nerves and this loud music, this microphone, and people looking at you, you got Kobe staring at you while you're trying to perform,
There you go.
What does Kobe got to do?
I mean, how Kobe just be looking,
Stay off her. You already know. Don't get your bones broken.
What is wrong with you, Brandon?
All I'm saying is right after the performance, like her and Kobe clash heads. So I just was like, but I'm saying it's difficult. It is difficult with people you've been clashing with in the room. It's hard, and then it's very hard. I do this for a living, so like she gets all the props in the world for doing that on a national stage. So
yes.
100%.
Well, thank you, Brandon. The song is dope. Anthony, so tell Anthony has a podcast. So before I let you go, Anthony, let the world know where they can subscribe and download your podcast.
Yeah, the Culture Conversations podcast is on YouTube at AT Network, and we're filming season 2 right now, and also a live show coming soon.
Well, listen, Anthony and Brandon, I love you guys. Thank you guys for always being excellent force multipliers on Love and Marriage Detroit. And y'all can catch The first part of the reunion this Saturday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And do not forget to purchase all the Christina fans that she has. I forgot the fan club name she gave them. But like Brandon said, it's $1.29 to support her buy the music so that it can chart. So instead of leaving me a super chat tonight, Raindrops, use that money to purchase Christina Bowman Smith's song that is called, what is it called, Brandon?
Final Destination.
Final Destination, and I just purchased it myself. All right, Brandon, Anthony, I love you guys, and I'll see y'all.
Okay, so he actually asked his Raindrops to not send super chats, but to reallocate those funds towards purchasing Christina Bowman Smith's single Final Destination, wherever you can stream music like iTunes, Spotify. So I thought that was very generous of Carlos to lend his large platform to promote her single. I was just curious. I cannot remember a time where he did that for any of Melody's singles. And Melody has released several singles at this point. But, perhaps I missed it. Maybe I was at the movies or at the gym or something. Do you all remember a time where he promoted Melody's single and I just missed that? So if I am correct and he's never done that, it just makes me wonder about the consistency. And it's not like he has a ton of reality TV stars who are also musical artists. As far as I can think of right off the bat, there's Christina, obviously, there's Melody Cherie, and Destiny had the one single. And, not to kind of throw a stray at Destiny, but she's not the most consistent person, just in my opinion, Destiny, just in my opinion, from what I've seen on the TV show, Love and Marriage Huntsville. You don't come across the most consistent with the things that you embark upon. So I don't know if he looked at that as, well, I won't worry about promoting her single. Or you could also look at it as, well, if you don't expect her to always drop music, what's wrong with promoting the one song? You can look at it a couple of different ways. Now, Melody is pretty consistent, very consistent with dropping new music, at least one single every year, at least. So I just can't remember ever him promoting a single. And if he's ever felt like, well, I don't want her ex-husband to get upset that I'm promoting her music. I feel like, you're an adult as well. You should be able to do what you want. If you truly wanted to promote her music, you can go ahead and do that. If he thought, he doesn't want the other cast members to see him promoting something of just Melodies. But, again, tonight he was promoting Christina Bowman Smith's new single. So that was really interesting to me to see him open up the platform the way that he did. And he asked Brandon such open-ended questions so that Brandon could tell him about the single and about Christina as an artist. What do you think about that? If I'm on the right track and he's never promoted any music from Destiny or Melody, what do you think about him doing that for Christina over on Love and Marriage Detroit? So, in a huge surprise, he actually has Mia Thornton on the show, on his Messy Monday show. She was on there talking. Oh my gosh, it was probably close to, if not a solid half an hour. And it was torture. Once Mia was on, now I'm typing in the chat. So I've been taking notes, and then I had to type in the chat, and people had me cracking up. At first, Mia's audio was choppy, and I was sitting here as I was taking notes. I'm like, her audio is bad. And then finally, Claudia says it. And there were people in the chat saying that was the ancestors. They're sick of her. And it was just hilarious. And people were like, that was the Lord. And everyone is just trashing her, okay? And everyone was saying, Carlos, please, can you please just move on from her? Can you get her off? And it just felt like he was just torturing us. And I even typed hashtag torture. And someone sent a super chat saying, you having Mia on was a hate crime. Everybody was cracking up. If you're going to go back and watch his Messy Monday show, I'm assuming that he definitely has it so that the chat will replay. You want to read the live chat, you will be cracking up. It was hilarious. And Claudia, she was reading the comments because sometimes she would reference them. And, people were saying, like, can y'all please move this along? Claudia at one point typed, I'm trying, y'all. But according to Carlos King, he said that Mia sent him a nasty DM and he wrote her back saying, here's my phone number, call me. He said that Mia from the Real Housewives of Potomac called him, went off on him, and he said that they hashed everything out. And then when she was on the show tonight, Claudia asked, well, what were you upset about? And Mia said that some viewers of the Real Housewives of Potomac are convinced that there is a colorism issue on the show. She said that there is not. She said, but I do get it from the viewer's perspective. It looks like that, but reality TV is an edited version of our reality. Anyway, she says she felt like Carlos King was perpetuating the colorism narrative, and that ticked her off. And she felt like he has this large platform where he can influence lots of people. Why are you suggesting that there is, in fact, a colorism issue? So she was saying that that was her problem with Carlos. And then he invited her onto the show. And he actually asked her, if you could choose between Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which one would you choose? And she said, I wouldn't last a day on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And I typed in the chat, the way you threw that drink on Wendy and then hit her with your purse, I think you'd fit right on in. How dare she try to act like, like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is too whatever. You know what I'm saying? You fill in the blank, Mia. Do you think it's too rough around the edges, or what do you think that is? Because the way you treated Wendy, I think you would fit right on in based upon a lot of people's stereotypes about the Love and Hip Hop franchise, which I have said plenty of times on lots of different videos that I enjoy. But that was definitely, I'm not going to say a pleasant surprise, but it was a surprise seeing Mia Thornton from the Real Housewives of Potomac on tonight's Messy Monday show. Then she left and everything was normal. And as far as the panel, and Carlos King was talking about the importance of Cynthia Bailey being a friend on the show this current season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He said that you need someone who's unbiased, who can bring everyone together. And I thought that was interesting because people being unbiased is definitely something that we do not often see on Love and Marriage Huntsville. One of the major problems that has just totally tanked the show and led to its queen, Melody Cherie, leaving. I mean, the gang ups year after year, reunion after reunion, and it was just getting more and more toxic. But I found that interesting that he had that revelation when critiquing or giving commentary on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And when talking about Shamia, Carlos critiqued Shamia, saying that we're not getting conversations between Shamia and her husband, Gerald. Now, I don't know what they're filming for Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I know in seasons past, we hardly got any deep, meaningful conversations between husband and wives. Any scenes that was just Kimmy and Maurice, it was about their sex life for at least 2 consecutive seasons. They never went deep on camera. And as far as Letitia and Marceau, they definitely didn't talk about anything serious. Marceau instantly gets upset if anyone brings up the word cheating. So they don't give anything meaningful either. This is Shamia's very first season. She definitely ain't perfect. She needs to, I said this in Kempire's chat today, what is her identity independent of Portia? But at least Shamia has brought us luxury. And she has her surrogacy storyline. That is serious, that some people can relate to. And she is an actual wife with children. At least she has those things. But I wanted to point those out as things that stood out for me from his Messy Monday show. But if you have been watching his Messy Monday show tonight, what do you think of it so far? And what do you think about his critiques of Shamia from the Real Housewives of Atlanta? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video, as it is a free way of supporting the channel. And please subscribe to Shows, Style, and Spirit if you have not already done so. I hope that you all had a magnificent Monday and not a manic Monday. If it was rough for you, I'm sorry, but you will have a much better day tomorrow. I'm going to take my own advice and position myself to have a good morning. After I create the thumbnail for this video, I'm going to make my overnight oats and then take a shower and get ready for bed. After work, I folded up the last load of laundry, the towels, and then I went to the gym, and then I came home and watched the Messy Monday show. And here I am. I have created my content. So it was a magnificent Monday. I cannot complain. It was like chilly to warm. You know, there would be a breeze that would make it feel chilly. But it did get up to like the upper 60s. So that was nice. So I hope you're having beautiful weather where you are as well. We are all going to have a terrific Tuesday tomorrow. And while you're watching your favorite YouTubers, grab your bottled water or grab some fruit so that you can get some healthy things inside your temple as well. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.